Hello and welcome to the video tutorial for the titration experiment for PC users. If you're using a Mac, please be sure to view the video for Mac users, as this video will be specifically for PC users. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download the titration experiment onto your computer and how to begin using it. Before we begin, please be sure to plug in your Arduino Uno to your computer, as we're going to need it for later once we begin setting up the experiment. All right, the first step is to open up any browser. I'm going to use Google Chrome. We're going to download the experiment from a particular website called Github. Now, it has a particular link. If you don't have that link handy, here it is. It is highlighted here in blue. It is github.com/fwlu1/virtual titration build. If you don't have the link, please pause the video now and type this into your browser. For right now, I'm just going to copy and paste it into Google Chrome. The GitHub will look like this. You'll see a number of files that are all part of the titration experiment. In order to download them to our computer, all we're going to do is click the green code button. This will give us a few options for downloading it. We're going to pick the simplest one, and that's just to download the zip file. I've actually already done this, and I've placed it on my desktop over here. So all I'm going to do is minimize this window as well as this one, and we're going to use this file. Now, as I mentioned, it is a zip file, so what we're going to do first is unzip it. To do that, all we're going to do is right-click it. For me, it says extract all, but on your PC, it may say unzip. In either case, click that option that'll allow you to unzip the folder. I'll click extract all. It'll ask you where you want it unzipped. I'm just going to keep it on the desktop. And if you look here, it already says desktop. So we'll just keep that. So we'll click extract. All right. You'll see here on the desktop, the unzipped version of the folder is here, and it's already opened it for me. The first folder we see is virtual titration build main. Let's open this up. Once we open it up, the main folder we want to focus on right now is titration windows build. You'll see here that it, like the first file, it is also zipped. So let's unzip it. Once again, for my PC, it says extract all. I'll click that. It'll ask me where I want it zipped to. I will keep the location the same. It'll always just place it where the original folder is. So I'm just going to keep it inside this folder. When it extracts, it may take a little while because there are quite a number of files inside that folder, but they'll all be saved here. You can see here already, it already says titration windows build. There's no zipper on the folder, so it's already unzipped for us, ready for use once all of the files are unzipped and placed into it. All right, here we go. So you'll see here a new window has opened up for us, and it is actually the unzipped version of our original file, titration windows build. Here it is. Inside that folder, you'll see the Swish Chem 2024 short form folder. It's the only folder in the folder. Let's click it. And of all these files here, the titration experiment is this one. It has the little cube logo. It is called Swish Chemistry V2. To open it, just double click it. You'll see the Unity startup logo, and here it is, Titration Lab. To begin, all you're going to do is click Start. Now here you'll see two options for using the experiment. You can use it with the keyboard, or you can use it with the burette and the Arduino. We want to use it with the burette, so we're going to ignore this. If you ever do want to use only the keyboard, all you'll do is click the keyboard button. But if you do decide to use the keyboard, you still must have the Arduino plugged in and follow the steps that I'm about to mention. We'll unclick it for now. To begin the experiment, we have to type in the name of the Arduino. As of now, the titration experiment program does not know that we have an Arduino plugged in because it doesn't know the name of it. So I'm going to show you now how to get the name of that Arduino board that you have plugged into your computer from earlier. Once we have it, we'll type it in here. We'll click check, and then we'll advance. It's important that you type in that name exactly as it appears, otherwise it will not allow you to advance. Okay, here's how you find the name of the Arduino board. We're going to minimize this window for right now. Let's exit out of these folders. We're going to open up our browser again, and we're going to go to another website, which if you don't have it linked or have it on handy, take a look here. The website right here is called arduino.cc/en/software. This website is going to give us a program that allows us to communicate with the Arduino board. I'm going to copy this link into the browser. And here it is. The program is called Arduino IDE. This is a safe, trustworthy program that is just going to allow us to, as I mentioned before, get the name of our board, but it's also going to allow us to download a particular set of instructions that your Arduino needs in order for it to function as a burette. To download it, if you look over here, we have different options for different devices. You will click the one at the top that says Windows 10. As with the previous file, I've already downloaded it onto my computer, so I'm just going to minimize this window and this one, and I'm going to click the file. Here it is. It's called the Arduino IDE, as I mentioned before. This is what the logo looks like. Let's go ahead and open it up. And this is what the IDE looks like. You'll see here a set of instructions, okay? But these aren't the instructions that we want to put on our board. Those instructions are actually found in the original file that we downloaded, okay? The virtual titration experiment folder. Go back to that folder, click the only folder you see here. And once you have the list of files again, we're going to click the file at the top that says potentiometer read. Once we open that up, you'll see the Arduino IDE logo once more, and we will double click this. Once you've clicked it, you'll see here a new set of directions. These directions will allow the board to communicate with the computer and function as a burette. Now, we have to download these instructions onto the board. Before we do that, though, let's select the board that is connected to our computer by clicking Select Board. If you only have one Arduino connected to your computer, there should only be one name here. And for me, it is just the Arduino Uno. If you're using an Arduino Uno, that's also what it'll say for you. So I'll click it. Now, before we download the instructions onto the board, we need to verify that these instructions are valid and that there are no errors in them. To do that, we will click the Verify button. It's just a check mark. Once we do that, you'll see an indication here that it's been complete or done compiling. Now that the code is verified, we're going to download it onto the board. To do that, we're going to click the arrow that says Upload. It'll take a few moments, and here it says Done Uploading. If you want to know if the code is working, if the instructions are being read properly, if you click the little magnifying glass here that says Serial Monitor, you should see a list of numbers that are varying. And here they are. If you have your potentiometer plugged in, you can even see the number, you can adjust them by rotating the knob. Let's exit out of this. Now the board has the instructions downloaded onto it and it's ready for use. But as I mentioned before, we need the name of the board. In order to get that, we're going to go up here and click on Tools. We'll then scroll down here to Port. Here you see the name of the port. For me and my computer and board, it is called COM3. I'm going to drag this window over here. Go back to the titration experiment. And that name, I'm going to type in exactly into the experiment. Let me show you what happens if you do not type the name in exactly. Notice that the name is COM3 with no spaces. I'm going to type COM space 3 to show you what happens when the name is typed in incorrectly. So I'll type in all capitals, COM space 3. And let's check it. Notice it says port not found, check spelling. I'm now going to type it exactly as it appears in the Arduino IDE, COM no space 3, and let's see if it works. Now it says port found, your burette is ready for use. If you notice out of the corner of your eye, you may have seen your Arduino board blinking with a pretty light. That's another indication that your Arduino is now connected to the titration experiment. The next button, which is previously a dark gray, is now a bright yellow and ready for you to click it. Once you click next, you'll see the scenario that provides the context for your experiment. And to advance to the lab, you're just going to click next twice. Now you're inside the lab and are ready to perform your experiment. On behalf of the developers of the titration experiment, I would like to thank you for trying this experiment, and we wish you much titrating in your future. Thank you.